sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on my side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
All right, how's everyone doing tonight? Let me actually switch over to my other scene, because tonight we got another part 2 of our previous co-stream with John Capobianco. So let me bring him in here. All right, John's up now. So yeah, so we just got off John and I guess we both tuned into the Cisco DevNet Create event this week. John is now a prestigious award winner. He's a DevNet Creator Community Award winner. So congratulations to him. I mentioned it on Tuesday's stream, but had to wait till we were on this co-stream together. So I'll let John kind of take over what we're going to be doing tonight. So just as a quick summary, we've added this parser that I created, a Genie parser called show license summary. It's for the show license summary command for iOS XE devices, and we're adding it to his project Merlin. So We did some work on the last stream, and John, in the meantime, has helped me out in the background to kind of get us to a good spot, and we're going to try to finish that work tonight. One other note, we're using a feature called Live Share within VS Code, which is the IDE, the code editor you see on my screen. And John is actually sharing out a link, and I'm actually going to put it in the chat here, where you could join as well. It's going to be read-only privileges, but you'll be able to actually watch us code and kind of code with us. So let me go ahead and put that in the chat. And
we're really excited about this live share tonight.
Yeah.
Danny and I, we used it the first time to pair program. And then it just, it seemed like a natural thing to just extend the invitation to anybody. You're already watching the stream. You can actually join us and follow along inside of this VS Code. So we're hoping we get someone to join. We put a lot of time and effort into making this happen. And on the Creator Award, thank you, Danny. It means a lot to me. And I want to thank everybody, all kinds of people all over the world who celebrated with me, let's say. In terms of where we are tonight, I can't see what Danny's looking at. He can't see what I'm looking at. I have the back end, let's say. So I'm hosting, and if you look in the live share panel, there's some shared servers. All of those are running on my computer, and this VS Code session is being hosted on my computer. So Danny's going to be writing the code, and then we're going to rebuild. We're going to have to take down the server and bring the server back up as we add more and more features tonight. Where we got to, and I have a couple things highlighted. Danny, you said they're pretty highlighted on your screen, the license summary PI file?
Yeah.
Should be one of them?
Yep, that's highlighted.
So that file, Danny, that's his work. That's him writing a parser for the Genie library. And you can see that it's the show license summary command, but as JSON. So we worked really hard to get it to this point. Now, in terms of model view controller and Django, we're writing the controller file, this show license summary file, which interacts with the network. Now, what we've done before this was model, and in the other file, you should see the class. Sorry, let me highlight the right class. Show license summary. Now that show license summary is the model we made for Django that we're going to take the JSON you see on the right and ingest it into an SQL table that is based on that model. So where we got to, where we started to explore views. So Danny, let's, I'm going to we can close the models file.
Okay.
Yeah, let's close the model file. We have everything we need, I believe, on the screen in front of us. So if you want to go ahead and take over driving,
All right.
if you want to pick up at line 54, and actually you can probably take the print out. We put the print on line 52 so that we could see that JSON on the screen and bring it in so that we could work with it and also know that we can trigger this and get it to run properly. So go ahead and take out line 52.
Let me actually move it. You're in the... I'm sorry.
The show license. Am I in the wrong file? Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
No, the show... Here, I have to put my cursor in the file. I'm sorry.
Go.
There you go. I keep forgetting that one little catch that your cursor has to be active in the file. I'll try to remember that.
Yep.
I think anybody who's joined into the stream, there is a link in the chat. You just click that link and it should take you into this VS Code session. You can join us. And we'll actually get you into the repository. If you join, we'll get you to, leave a comment or something, and then you'll be tagged in the Merlin repository as well.
Yeah, and I'm actually trying to get into the chat here. Hold on just a sec.
I can try to. I can do it from my end as well. I think.
Yeah, maybe that might be best.
Okay, let me do that.
Yeah.
If you want to, yeah, let me just that won't take me long to take care of. I just tweeted the link out, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just taking me a second.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I was. That's what I was
Going
actually
right now.
taking a second to do because the stream's up. I was having issues with the chat.
All right, so I'm going to say here is the live share link.
And
There we go.
you're putting that in the YouTube chat.
So I'll put that. I'll try that. I have a Twitch too. It'll just take me a second. I put it in the YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Can you, if you want to pin, maybe pin that comment?
Yeah.
And there's the live share link for VS Code.
Yeah, it figures the one time I need the chat up and working, it freezes up in my.
No, it's good. I put the link in both chats. It's in the chat. We'll just remind people to click the link as we go tonight. When you do get your chat refreshed. In YouTube, at least, they do let you click the 3 buttons, the hamburger, I think,
Yeah.
and you can say pin this message. Okay.
Anyways.
Let me know when you're back in the VS Code,
Okay.
and we'll get going here.
Well, all right. I might have you. You already put it in the YouTube chat, so that's fine. I'll put it in.
I did.
I'll put it in the Twitch
I
chat.
put it in Twitch. No, I did. It's
Oh,
in
you
the
did?
Twitch too.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I put it in both.
Cool. All right. Well, luckily, I think that's one of the only things we got to put in the chat. But, all right. Yeah, I can mess with that later. All right.
Yeah, so if you want to chat with us tonight, you have to click that link, and you can chat with us inside of VS Code.
Yeah.
Because there is a chat in VS Code. No, I merely mean that. If you want to chat with both Danny and I tonight, join the VS Code session, and we'll chat inside of the VS Code session chat. Okay, so Danny, let's kill that print on 52, and then I'll explain what we have to do here. So you can take the comment out of 54. So uncomment 54. And when we're setting up a variable show license summary that is going to equal the show license summary model, Django model being invoked. And we have to populate the license name, the entitlement, the count, and the status. So on line 52, let's start a for loop.
All right.
And we're gonna say for I would call it license, say for license in, and then it's going to be that self dot partial license summary, and then the square bracket license usage.
Okay. All right.
And then make sure you write the colon at the end and tab over our all of our code there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just going to start at the show license now. Just make sure all that's tabbed over, and
Just
then
tab it all.
oh, that's wicked. I don't do it that way. That's much better.
Yeah.
So now license name, right, is going to be the network advantage, for example, right?
Yeah.
Or DNA advantage, which is going to be license, our outer for loop, right?
Yeah.
Just license.
Yeah.
So then entitlement is going to be, self dot parsed. Take all of that from 52, or you can type it out.
Self dot parse. It should just auto. Maybe not. Show. There we go.
And then the license usage inside of the square brackets.
Oh,
And then another square brackets with license for that iteration. Right? And then entitlement in another set of square brackets.
Oh, yeah.
So no, we need the license here because we need the actual iteration
Yeah.
in without quotes, the
Okay.
variable. Yeah, and
Sorry,
then the entitle.
I don't have the JSON in front of me, and maybe
Oh
that must
yeah,
be.
no, sorry, you do. The JSON's on line
Oh,
58.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. So we have the license. Yeah, license usage.
And then I would honestly just copy from self.parsed all the way to license.
Oh yeah, and to do the rest of them like count and
Right, and then you just change entitlement to count or count. For count, I mean
count
change change entitlement to count, and then status is status.
status.
And then I've added a timestamp there because we need a timestamp for the ingestion system.
Yep. And you replace the microseconds.
And I just do that. So, Danny, what I was finding was I have this concept of latest records that you'll see later. And the microseconds was like breaking up my records.
Yeah.
So what I wanted is like a big group of everything collected. But if I include microseconds, as it iterates through the for loop, the microseconds are different. So then it doesn't treat these two records as the same set from latest, for example.
Got you.
Does that make sense? That's why I'm doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Okay, so now hit home, or sorry, I'm on my screen. So now uncomment this dot save.
Yeah.
And that really is the magic of Django. We just say dot save. And now kill that commented out JSON, right?
Yep.
And then let's save it. So now I have to bring everything down and just get that into the Docker. So give me a second to do a Docker build.
Oh, you're good.
And now let me bring it up. Now the Docker up is going to take about 2 minutes now, Danny, and I'll explain why. The Elastic container is I don't want to say it's heavy, but it does take about ranges from 30 to seconds to 90 seconds. So what I put is a little sleep timer in my main project that says sleep for 2 minutes and you've seen all the services and containers that we have running, right? Let everything come up and settle and then bring Merlin up. Yeah. I'll let you know when it's up, but your homepage is up now. So do you want to show the new homepage in Merlin has? And I can maybe explain what people are looking at and how I built this. Okay.
Let me pull it up here.
And this was very, very easy actually, Danny, because it itself is a container. So I was listing in the Merlin WebEx channel all of the new ports that I have open. And Quinn Snyder from the Meat Driven Telemetry session at DevNet Create, if anyone saw that, Quinn said you should check out Heimdall. So I don't know if you want to call up, and I don't know if it's .dev or .io, but you want to Google that. Heimdall is an application system, management system, that people use for like Roku TVs or, do you know what I mean? Like live streaming dashboards or Xbox dashboards, that kind of thing. But it lets you put in your own URLs that can point to other containers. So that's how I didn't write any JavaScript or HTML to come up with that new homepage. It's this Docker container called Heimdall. Okay, so we're ready to save. Now, I wrote this next bit of code, and I'd like you to write some more. I shouldn't bring it up yet. It's not quite ready. Well, yeah, we can. Let's do this in steps. That's okay. So now that we have our model and our controller, I wanted a way for our users to trigger that file, that PyATS job. That's the whole point of this, is to give the users a link to click to run that show license summary and parse it with PyATS. So Danny, I'm in a file here called URLs.
Yep.
And I'd like people to think of the views, and maybe you, for your benefit, Danny, if you draw a little triangle, if you have a notepad around, there's kind of a triangle relationship between URLs, which is a pie file, which is, I don't want to say just, but it is ultimately the path, the universal or uniform resource locator that the user types in their browser to get, or where I point my Heimdall URL to. There is the views file. So Danny, what we've done is, you see on line 24, I've included a whole different set of URLs. So to make this modular, instead of having a huge URL file, I've broken Merlin up. So we're going to move into the Merlin/on-demand folder and its URLs, which are inherited. Now on line, where did we do it? Line 23, Danny. I'm going to highlight it for everybody. This is the URL that I wrote last week to give us a link when we click on a button in an HTML page. So this is the path. And you see how I have views dot, and then I give it a name?
Yeah.
You see that?
Yep. Yeah.
So now we move to the views pie file, and I have to make a view called show license summary all on demand. So we go into the views there, and if I scroll down, you'll see I've defined a function called show license summary all on demand. And what does it do? Well, it calls operating system.system, which lets me run the CLI PyTS run job file that we just finished. Which will then, remember I said there's a triangle, URL views? The third pillar is your template, which is an HTML file, which is very similar to Jinja2 templating. And it's even called very similarly, right? Return render our request, and then render this HTML page. Now, in order to click this button, we have a different URL called on demand, which just has a simple view of views.button. And views.button just renders an on-demand HTML page. So Danny, from your, let me see if my server's up, it should be. Yes, it is. From your home page, can you click on the on-demand link?
Yep, I can do that. And I guess...
And again, I don't see anybody in live share yet, but if you joined live share, you yourself could go to this homepage and this on-demand center with Danny and I. It would work on your computer through the live share technology. So don't be shy. If you're watching the stream right now, it's your only opportunity to do it live. Just, try that live share button and join us. Okay, so Danny, now before we click the button, okay, let me show you what that template looks like, all right?
All right.
So in Merlin, I have a templates folder and then an on-demand, and I have an on-demand.html. And you can see, and you're going to be writing some code in here. I hope how's your HTML, Danny?
Actually, it's not too bad, to be honest.
Okay, good. So we're going to write a little bit of HTML in a bit, but for now I want to show you what we've done. And so we have this show license summary table row with a table field with a button called show license summary all devices button, and then the label. Now I call up, this is a little bit of JavaScript that I have in static. So if we look at main.js, you're going to find the button as well as a spinner. So I didn't write all of this. I got this from, and Danny, do you want to maybe call up or just Google. Here's how I found it. If you Google Bootstrap Spinners, someone from the community pointed this out to me, that instead of the user sitting there waiting without any feedback, we can actually present a spinner while the job runs. And you'll see that when you click the button in a second. So what the button does, Danny, let me go find our button that we added. It's pretty slick. I think it's neat. It's like understanding how a magician does their trick, because I don't do a lot of web development. I don't know how all this stuff is done. But what we do is, this is an Ajax function, and when they click the button, it runs a function that gets the URL. Remember we talked about that triangle between the URL, the template, and the view? Well, this will call the URL, which will invoke the view, which will run the job, our model view controller interaction. And before I send it, I just have my spinner as not visible. And when I have success, I make it not visible. So anyway, that's how I get the spinner to show up.
Real quick, because like for someone like me, I'm used to Flask, or like I use Fast API now.
Okay.
I just wanted to run back through, like you just went through, model view controller essentially. So just wanted to run back with you just what you went over, and so that way it makes more sense to me. And then maybe if someone has any
Sure.
questions, they can bring it up. And just for a heads up,
Oh
because I see
yeah, yeah. This
go ahead.
we're in no rush tonight. If I went too fast, or if you want me to slow down or anything,
No, yeah,
but I'd love to. Yeah,
it's more or less just I'm not used to Django, and I'm not sure how many people are, so I just wanted to run through it again. And
sure.
my idea is I'll kind of walk through what you just did, except kind of relate it to what I know, and then correct me as we go. Just as a heads up, I see a few people are on Twitch and a few people are on YouTube. My chat isn't working in OBS right now, so the only chat I actually have up is the Twitch chat. So if you're on YouTube, I believe John's gonna have it open, and we've also sent in the link to actually join our live share. So what you see now, like with John's highlighting, like this highlighted pink, is his cursor and what he can type and remove things from the code. The link that he put in both chats, the Twitch and the YouTube chat, you can actually log in through download VS Code, or if you already have it, you actually can use that link and get into VS Code and get into this current session. And so you'll have read-only access, but you'll be able to follow along just like I'm doing right now. The only difference is I'm able to actually change and modify code. So if you have any questions about LiveShare, we're in no way experts, but feel free to put anything in the chat. I'll answer anything in the Twitch chat, and John, hopefully we'll see it in the YouTube chat. I know we'll be busy, so it may take a couple minutes, or if you just want the link, because I know we posted it about 10-15 minutes ago now, feel free to just mention something in the chat and we can repost it.
I see me saying here's the live share link, and I just tried to share it again inside of YouTube. I don't actually know if it's like a security thing where it won't let me spam a hyperlink in the chat. Hi, Cloud Bart. Hey, thanks for joining, man. I tried to get back to you if you're still there. I'm actually running Docker Desktop and WSL2. Maybe I should have explained the environment that we're running all this in. That's a good point. It's not in the cloud. It's not an AWS instance. I'm hosting all of this on my rugged little gaming desktop through WSL2, Ubuntu, and Docker Desktop is kind of the mix there. Again, I hope if you need to find the live share link and you can't get it in the chat, it is on my Twitter. So go to John_Capobianco on Twitter, and the live share link is there. I'm not sure if YouTube's protecting the stream from me posting the hyperlink.
All right. Yeah. So ask any questions in the chats, and we'll try to get back with you. Once again, sorry for the inconvenience. Normally, I can see both chats in my OBS, but for obviously tonight, the one time I need it, it's not working. So, um, all right. So let's start out again with you brought up the URLs. So Flask kind of has a similar idea, but it's referred to as like routes. That's kind of the way I see the URLs, which basically, I mean, there's really no other word besides routes in my mind.
So
But they
so we
correspond
will
with the view as well. Go ahead.
okay, we will add a router when we get to the REST framework later. Like we do use routers in Django with the REST framework,
Oh,
but
like an API router.
correct,
Okay.
right? But for the URLs, we I can let me click on my URLs file, my base one, and show you what we import. In case maybe that'll show you what actually is in URLs, what we build from. So
Yeah.
we have our built-in admin panel, the admin page, the batteries included, and then we include URL, which has paths, and we added include so we can break into sub URL files.
Yep.
And then we need views to link this to, views dot whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I should. So the Flask
So
routes
it
are.
says
Go
it
ahead.
says routes here. The URL pattern lists route URLs to views.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm kind of seeing as here's your route and then your corresponding view.
Right.
So if we jump, so that's pretty simple. And just for those listening, if you have no idea about what we're even the web frameworks like Flask, Django, Fast API, routes essentially that exactly the name of the file, a URL, right? That's like typing it into your browser, where to go, and then that corresponds with a view, which I'm going to jump over to that file now.
Do you want me to open another file? Yeah, views.
Yeah, I'm in views right now. Yep, I see your cursor. And
Okay.
the way I kind of see views is this is where either you're doing something and then returning, and in this case, you're rendering HTML. Do you, by chance, do you have your APIs or your API calls or endpoints in this file as well, or is that a separate folder?
That so if you open the model or the serializers.py file,
Okay,
that's the file that we use to serialize for the REST framework,
got you.
which
Okay,
is a little separate. But we're going to add, like tonight, Danny, we're going to actually do this with your parser. We're going to make it part of the APIs.
got it.
And the other thing I want to highlight is so this set of views that we were looking at, this is where I started with a simple Django example. I believe it's their default hello world type example is year archive. So you can see in that URL, I can put in 2020 or 2021 or whatever, and it will filter, right? It combines with a filter to say, right, the timestamp year equals the year inside of the URL,
That
which
makes
then
sense.
sets the context. And like you said, then I render that request, but it's filtered by year, or we're going to do this together tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. No, keep the questions coming, and I might say to you, you'll see it might be easier for you to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you're piecing it all together. Now, these views are views that like present data from the model into the user's browser.
Mm-hmm.
But that on-demand view, I realize that I have to start with a pretty complex set of views, but it's really not. I'm just handing off to my PyTS job, right?
Yeah,
What's a little more complicated is that the template that I showed you
yeah.
has some JavaScript and it has some buttons, and this is as advanced as it's going to get. Later on, we're just going to be presenting data from the database. But
Got
but
you.
to get started, we need a button, which we have. So do you want to try to click the button and let's see if all this works tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go to the on-demand center and scroll down and find the um, show license summary button.
All right.
I'll watch the server and then make sure that it doesn't crash, and I can confirm that
There's the
it
screen.
actually saved to the database. Now,
Move over.
what's going to happen is that dot save is going to save it hopefully in actually two different places.
Okay.
I'm just looking here. Did it not? It didn't fail, but I don't see it saving to the database. Let me just take a look at the logs a little closer.
Not a
I'm
problem.
trying to see the... No, it just did the print. Hang on,
Interesting.
let me bring down... No, it's when I did my build. I think I know what happened here. I'm sorry. That's my mistake. It didn't compile. So I need to say Docker compose down volumes. And Docker build. And Docker up. I'm not sure why. This is on my end, Danny. Our new code just didn't actually, it's just not part of that container. I'm trying to flush out the old container and I'll bring it
Just
back up.
rebuilding.
Yeah, it's just rebuilding now.
That makes sense. That works.
I just wonder if, I thought I did do down without the, I guess I can use my Docker browser. Yeah. And look into the container and see if the new code is there once it's up.
Sounds good. I'm gonna actually, just because it's bothering me, I'm gonna try to pull up the chats individually, because this stream out of all streams, just for everyone watching, was supposed to be the most interactive one, and of course, the chats just break on my end. So as you figure that out, I'm gonna pull up my stream and
Yeah.
just pull up the chat. Hopefully it doesn't break the stream.
Yeah, do what you got to do, Danny. Because I can't share the live share link inside of the YouTube either. The link's not actually there for people to click.
Okay.
And this does take about 2 minutes to rebuild, but should be up soon. I wonder why. Shouldn't have done that though, unless I just forgot to bring it down with volumes. I'm not sure. Also, for anybody watching, you heard me mention the Docker desktop or the Docker VS Code add-in. It's very neat in that I can actually just click the little Docker icon and then expand containers like their file folders, and hopefully look in and make sure that our new code is written. Yeah, do it. The Py file right from VS Code. I'm actually so. Okay, yep, the server is up, and let me just check this Py file.
All right. All right, let's see.
No, Merlin. And then this is so cool. I can look right in this file inside of the container. Show Py summary. So Danny, do you see that on your screen since I'm live sharing, by the way? No?
I'm sorry. Which
Oh
file?
no, it's okay. No, you see it didn't pick up the new file yet.
Did we have? I think we had this problem last time.
We did. Let me bring it down.
All right. I'm just
Down
gonna
with
check
volumes.
the chat because I'm in the. I'm in the chat rooms now. Let me see. Okay. So let me just make sure. All right. So for YouTube, yeah. Hey Bart. Yeah. Sorry we missed you, Bart, or at least I did. Um, I know John was able to respond. Hopefully you're still here. Um, Nara, do we need? I know you've been in here a lot. Do we need Django framework knowledge? So for John's project, I would say you need a basic understanding of Django, since that's what it's kind of built on. Um, so to answer your question, yeah. But I mean, John, I mean, how long did it take you to bring up Django? I know it's a heavy library with its batteries included, but I mean, how long did it take you to kind of get your first Hello World?
But the hell that didn't take me very long actually. I didn't find it that unfriendly. I didn't find it that um, I didn't find it all that difficult.
Okay.
But there is a learning curve there, and so what I found there was a different article that recommended to me, um, not to me, but what the author's main point was, if you want to learn Python, the advantage of learning Django is that you are also going to learn some back end, meaning some SQL, and some front end, meaning that HTML, CSS, JavaScript stack, um, along the way. So I was already familiar with some front end and back end, and it may not be the tool for everyone and you don't actually have to know any SQL, like it's all Pythonic abstractions, but it helps. Obviously, it helps you if you know your way around a database system and things like that. Um, Sorry, Danny, I just have to sign back into my remote desktop. My it kicked into after hours mode or something, and it signed me out of my session. I'll just be a second here. And I'm puzzling over how to best rebuild this image without building no cache, because building no cache is going to have to pull all the packages and everything down. Um, Let me see. Let me see if maybe it's dangling in Docker or some reason why it's not. Usually you just build and bring it up and it recompiles that image, but it's 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 using a cached image.
Not a problem.
This will just take a second. I'm almost there.
Oh no, you're good. And just for everyone watching, I finally got the YouTube chat up as well. So I have Twitch and YouTube up. So if there's any questions, anything at all, it could be related to the project, it could be related to network automation, Python, whatever you want to talk about. While we wait for John to get the containers back up. And just so everyone kind of understands, I know we're going back and forth with the troubleshooting it. So basically, we made some changes, and his application it's containerized, and basically what that means is just think of it's hard to kind of explain containers now, like on the spot, but think of it as like recyclable programs, right? So you could easily, he builds a container. This application's in a small container. It's running, does its job great. And then when we want to make changes or updates, and let's say we want to redeploy it, we basically scrap the container and then rebuild it new. It's not how all application development works, but containers are kind of moving towards the future of application developments in microservices or containers. It's container based because its ability to, I can't think of the right word, but basically you can throw it away. It has a smaller footprint, and you could throw them away and rebuild fresh. So I can't think of the right word for it, but disposable. That's it.
Yeah, they're very disposable, very portable, and So the challenge that I had, I didn't want users to have to literally pip install all this stuff in a virtual environment, and there's a lot involved there. Even writing the README file, I finally wrote it for a Ubuntu environment, and my first user was trying it on CentOS. So the instructions didn't match, right? So
Yeah.
I didn't want any of that friction as it's known. And so now if you have Docker, there's nothing to install. You're not double clicking an executable. You just spin up the container and it's ready to go, right? So, but there is a bit, I do struggle with the cache a little bit here. I've tried dash dash build. It says build images before starting containers. Um, I let me try this again. I don't know. I also did a prune. Um, so everyone, what's happening is that that one Python file that we have, it's sort of stuck running the version before from last week. It didn't. It's not building and picking up our new code. So unfortunately, this does take a little bit of back and forth because I have to tear it all down and then rebuild it again, and it takes a couple minutes to rebuild it. So let me see here. We're getting closer to it being up again. I want to make sure that it's actually running the right code. Danny, if you want to drop the live
Yeah.
share into the YouTube too, I didn't have permissions that seemed to do
Nope.
that.
I have the wrong. Let me see. Could you put that in the live share chat, the link?
Oh, let me do that.
Okay.
Or I think, can you? What if you click on your little name? Do you have an invite others or no?
Oh, invite participants. Yeah. Um, it's just asking me for a list of apps, like Firefox, Chrome.
Oh, here, let me just.
Yeah, just some.
There's the live share in the chat. Try it. Did that go?
Yep.
Try that, Danny. Okay.
I see that now. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't think I've ever opened up the chat. At least like it's literally a tab. It looks just like the. There's the link to that. And then I'm gonna post it in the Twitch chat as well. Maybe.
I don't know, Danny. I'm sorry. I'm trying this again.
Oh, you're good.
It's I don't know. It should be the same as when I develop on my home machine. I'm not on my home machine right now. I'm in a sandbox doing this, so I don't know why. I've just tried to purge that image or that container, and I'm trying to bring it up again.
You're good.
I guess worst case, I could do a build no cache, but that does take time, and maybe we would need to talk about DevNet Create or something while that happens if we have to do it. I really hope not.
Yeah. No, it's all right. Yeah, I
Okay, I
don't
see
even
the
know.
live share there now. Okay, good.
How can you tell if someone join? Oh, participants. Duh. Interesting.
And I think we get a little pop-up that says
Yeah, like someone
somebody's.
joins. Yeah, we're
Oh, hang on, Danny, hang on.
What's that?
Hang on. Did we not save the file?
Oh
Oh
man.
no, I was looking at it.
See, I don't want
No,
to
no, second. I'm just wondering. That's my guess. I don't know. Did we? Maybe we're
Yeah,
building it and we literally didn't save it, or I don't know.
I, I'm I saved all the files I edited. At least I thought I did.
Okay.
Um, we didn't commit them or anything like that. Is that an issue?
No, no, we don't need to commit them. I'm building from local. I'm just curious. Maybe it didn't.
Gotcha. Yeah, for anyone watching, if you have Visual Studio Code downloaded, download the. I guess we're pretty bad hosts with this. We didn't really explain where how to install LiveShare. So LiveShare is an extension. So if you have Visual Studio Code, just look up LiveShare.
Yeah, LiveShare extension pack is the one that I like because it actually gives you
Yeah,
about 4 different extensions. One's Peacock. So that's what's giving us our different colors is the Peacock extension.
Yeah. So you can install the extension pack, LiveShare, but basically it's this live. There's a couple like Live Server, but not to get confused, it's the one with the purple square and the white arrow. If you install that, and then it should pop up here on the left once it's installed, and it should say like ask you to join a server. I can't remember what it says, but it should ask you like host a session or join a server. If you click on that link, it should take you to like a web portal that should say, would you like to join? And it'll redirect you to your VS Code. But yeah, if you have it downloaded, it'd be cool. We just want to see how it would work, honestly. Because right now, it's just us, and we both have read-write privileges. But I mean, there's so many use cases where you could literally get an entire team, let's say 4 or 5 developers in the same code window. If you're all coding together, like one project, it could get messy. But let's say you're trying to teach code, right? Like kind of what we're doing here, where even John's teaching me things about Django. We can be in the same window, and I can change things, or we could type things out together. So that's kind of where the whole idea with where we were going with this is. It'd be cool if someone could come in here and read the code we're looking at. And the only reason we don't have obviously write permissions is so that way you don't delete all the files or mess up the code in any way.
And
Yeah.
it's also to what's really neat. You've touched on it, but let's say in a month let's say that 6 or 7 Django developers got in. You could say, okay, you bite off the controllers. I'll write some views. Somebody else is going to do the modeling, all together at the same time in multiple files.
Yeah.
Literally building a solution together. So, Danny, I think this worked. Do you want to try the button again? And I'll confirm that. I really do think maybe it was the save, or maybe I had to flush something, but hopefully that doesn't trip us up too much tonight. But this is the big one, is the on-demand button here. And do you see your spinner running, by the way?
I haven't clicked it yet. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we see the spinner now.
Okay, great. So I see the PyTS job running, and
hey, Bart put in the YouTube chat. I was wondering how you two were coding together. Yeah, yeah. So we're using that LiveShare extension, and basically the way it kind of recognizes us, and you may have seen that in the LiveShare tab. You saw like me and John, is you actually can sign into a Microsoft or a GitHub account, and that actually doubles up as, besides being identification, it also doubles up as if I make code changes. If John makes code changes, it tracks all the changes you made, and you can write, through Git. So you can do commits. And let's say I do a commit right now and John edited some code. I would have to stage those. I could stage those files as well. But, in the Git log, or I'm sorry, like Git blame, you could find, okay, John actually edited this piece of code. So it's pretty neat. Obviously, with only two of us, we haven't really had to blame each other yet for anything that broke. But I could see like if you had a few people in here trying to edit things, um, yeah, it could get messy if you didn't
Uh,
have that identification. No,
I see the. No, but that worked earlier though. Can you try to click the button again for me? I'm sorry.
oh, you're good.
I thought I showed you that I sent you a screenshot of it. So PyTS didn't connect. It actually just the AE test framework didn't connect.
Okay, it's spinning now.
Yeah, I'm actually getting errors that it can't.
Do you have is the device in your inventory?
Yeah, that's the problem is that the device is in the inventory.
Okay.
It's just not connecting to. I'm getting like no route to host. I'm wondering this might not. We might not be able to go. I'm gonna stop this for a second, Danny, and just see something here. I thought I sent you a screenshot of that connecting. Why is it not connecting now, though?
So for those watching, we're actually having more of a network problem now versus a
It
coding
is a
problem.
real network problem. Yeah,
Back to our roots.
I. I mean, I'm connected to it. Is it? It's. Is it a DNS thing? I doubt it. So I was pretty confident. I do have a screenshot of a sample of this actually connecting and working. It's not our code. It's running the PyETS job that we've written.
Yeah.
It's just that it's just not finding the switch right now. I'm just making sure that I have the right host name and everything.
But can you ping it? You know? Yeah. And for a little bit of background, so I kind of slacked on reserving a DevNet sandbox. So normally when we run these tests, we reserve the Catalyst 9000 DevNet sandbox, and there's only one available. And I thought about doing it, I believe this morning, and which super last minute, and there wasn't one available till I think sometime this weekend. So that was definitely my fault on that my piece. So yeah, and it didn't help. DevNet Create, as you know, was an awesome event. It didn't help with DevNet Create happening this week too, and everyone kind of like energized to dive into the sandboxes. I'm sure that's why they got booked. They're normally busy, but I imagine after the event, it was definitely extra booked.
I'm just going to see if I need to patch this into my local host file. Maybe that'll get it around. I
Okay.
don't know that this lab system is registered in DNS. Maybe that's my problem.
So Bart replied back. He says, "Gotcha." He uses Cloud9 for collab coding. Feel like I've heard of Cloud9. Let me pull it up real quick. Cloud9. Just say coding. Oh, makes sense. Makes sense. Cloud Bart using AWS Cloud9 for his collaboration. Got you. So code with just a browser. Actually, speaking of, I haven't tried it out yet. Have you tried out, John? Have you tried out VS Code is it vscode.dev?
It's pretty cool,
Have you
yeah.
seen
Or
that?
any GitHub repo
Okay.
um, so it's changed the .com from your GitHub
Mm-hmm.
to .dev. Just open up your own GitHub
Oh
repo.
wow. No, so I just went to vscode.dev just to see what it would look like, And oh my gosh, man, it puts you right into a VS Code instance.
And then go to your own repo and change the .com to .dev.
All right.
Sorry, I'm just messing around with trying to get
Okay.
this host file.
Oh, okay. So this reads from your local host. Got it. All right. So you said you can go to GitHub and replace .com with dev.
.dev, yeah.
Nah. Let me pull it up over here. Dude, of course, like this is the night that everything wants to, re-authenticate. GitHub's asking, everything look all right? Yeah.
Okay, I'm just patching my host file.
All right. Oops.
Okay, Danny, do you want to try the button one more time?
Yeah. Just drop that. I'll
Let
have
me
to check
just
out
see if that's...
Cloud9, Bart. That looks pretty neat. Very cool. The button.
All right, if it was DNS, it should be okay now. I've just put that in my local host file.
All right. I clicked it, so it's spinning. While that spins, I'm gonna check out. You said .dev here. Oh wow. Setting up your web editor.
Why does this... The demo gods are just not... Let me try. Do I need to do anything for this to pick up that new host file? I'm just running this from a Windows. No route to host. Let me try to ping it now.
Wow. That's pretty neat. I'm in the github.dev. I'm just in one of my projects. Oh, of course. I picked one of the empty files. Here we go. Nice.
Well, Danny, I'm bringing it up one more time. From this Windows machine, I can SSH right into this host we're targeting. I know our code is good. It's just the AE test framework won't connect to it. So I don't know. We might, despite our best efforts, we might have to reserve that sandbox and try this again. But let me try it. Let me try it before we give up on it. I'm just going to see if maybe
Oh, no,
I
that's
needed to restart everything with DNS.
It's kind of the way it goes. It's kind of the way demos
Sometimes
go.
it's the way it goes. Yeah. Well, it is just not connect. Let me try it. Let me try it.
And for those that didn't see the beginning of the stream, here's John's kind of the homepage for his Merlin application. So, if you're not familiar with some of these tools, it's okay. But these are some of the tools that he's integrated into. I would just call it like a behemoth of an application at this point because there's so many pieces. There's a monitoring perspective, with the elk stack. There's a database. There's celery and flour, which are your task and your workers. There's a REST API, um, search functionality. It's huge. So
To go through each of these tonight and show that they're very small, little, easy things to add and build once it's in the database, which is the key that it's in the database now.
yeah,
It and then like I have Flower so that people can look at their scheduling system, right?
yeah,
And then I have certain Elastic viewers to look at the Elastic. So it does seem big. I realize it's a lot of buttons on that menu now, but I want to leave it up to people to maybe they want their data in Elastic, or maybe they want just a button with a table. I'm just exploring. I may trim some of this at some point, or
yeah,
maybe not put them on that menu. And I don't know how many people are going to go into Prometheus and look at the metrics of Merlin. I put it on there more for people to play with Prometheus, right? Like, there's not, where else are you going to get to play with some of these tools, right?
hmm
Do you want to try it one more time here, Danny? That button,
yeah.
and then we'll see. We'll go from there. I hope that it was a DNS issue.
Okay.
And let me maximize this so I can see the logs a little better and
I
see what's
just I
actually
just kicked it
happening
off.
here. Okay, I see that. Yeah, it failed to bring device into any state.
Well, we can easily call it and get that. I can get that sandbox reserved for next week.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Okay.
I don't want to waste any more of your time and or anyone trying to watch this, and it's maybe making it a little harder for people to consume. So what I'm going to do, Danny, is I'm going to commit. Uh, I'm going to commit in what we've changed tonight for sure,
Yeah.
that py file, and then it's all ready to go for next week. Do you have a sense? Do you think maybe it'd be Tuesday, or do you want to do it Thursday? Thursdays are actually better for me.
Yeah. No, we could just do it next Thursday.
Okay.
That should work. Obviously, we can talk. We can talk online to catch up. But yeah, I think Thursday, same time, we can work on this again. And
Well, I think tonight was still pretty valuable.
yeah,
We actually explored a lot of ideas and a lot of things tonight. It just didn't pan out. But what we can do is get the sandbox ready, and then this maybe will give us a chance to build up some hype and get some people who want to join the live share as well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you should have known something was up when the chat wasn't working in OBS. That's how you knew it was going
Well,
downhill.
when you said earlier today that we didn't have a sandbox, I thought, well, I can maybe try to pull it off in an isolated lab, and we're really close, but
Yeah,
for some reason, I don't know, for some reason Unicron's not finding a route, or it's truly a network issue at this point. So, which we won't have with the sandbox next week, right? So
yeah,
we'll do the sandbox in a week. That's going to be fine. And who knows in a week how many more buttons might be on that menu, Danny? I'll try to keep it at a minimum, okay?
yeah. No, that's perfectly fine. So, appreciate everyone jumping on tonight. Obviously, we wish it went better, but hey, I mean, sometimes it's the way it goes. The chat wasn't working. I didn't get the sandbox reserved in time, and John had some issues. We had honestly, it just boiled down to network issues.
It's
Funny
it's
enough,
the network. It is.
funny
It
enough,
really
it
is.
was the
And
network.
I still had a good time, and
Yeah,
we may actually have needed the extra time that we covered a lot tonight, and I
yeah,
think for the next stream. So here's where we are, everyone. We have a button that runs our PyTS job. It's just not connecting to the device.
yep,
If it was connecting to the device, it would run Danny's parser, show license summary, take the JSON that we just mapped field by field to the Django model and the Elastic model, and that dot save will actually write those records into the database table. And then from there, it's about how we present it in views, which we explored conceptually tonight. And next Thursday, we'll build from here and actually populate the database, check that out, see what that looks like in the databases, and then start working on some views to present it. I really hope if you're watching this and you can make time Thursday that you try out the code share with us. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know we were hoping people could join in, but obviously we had more issues than just code share tonight. So it'll be cool for next week though, for sure.
All right. Well, stay safe, Danny, and thanks again, and it'll work out next week.
Yep, sounds good. And thanks again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't forget to reserve that sandbox, okay?
Yeah, no, I'll be doing that tonight. I'll try to reserve it for next Thursday. I'll get it knocked out. So.
All right.
Cool. All right. Well,
I'll
thanks,
see you
John,
around.
and thanks everyone for joining in. Like I said, it was sorry, it's kind of a dud of a demo, but hopefully we had enough time to walk through the code for you to kind of get an understanding of where we need to go. So, as always, you can message me or John. We're on Twitter, very active on Twitter, I would say. My Twitter will be in the outro, and then John is basically his name, at John_Capobianco. I'll tweet that out tonight as well. I always tweet out the VOD of the stream, so I'll mention him in that as well, so that way you can, if you want to follow him or message him directly. So, all right, John.
I will see you next week.
All right.
Take care.
Yep. See ya.